Alright, and you guys are good?
We're alive.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we're alive. What's up, gamers?
Alright. Hello.
Alright. Looks like we're about to start second part of Sonic Adventure 2 blog this marathon. What is gonna be Knuckles Centurion. I'm Tommy and I have a great co-commentator as Neem.
Yeah, hi. I guess before we start, we should explain what this category is. If you've never seen this before, you're gonna get very confused, and I'm fully prepared to explain this at least 10 more times when people ask in chat, so don't worry about it. Basically, this run is every Knuckles stage 20 times, and the reason we do this is because Knuckles has all these different piece locations that you need to memorize, and originally people started doing this as practice, but then people noticed it's pretty fun and started to race it a lot, and from racing it got actually competitive, and now people actually, especially like people like Tommy, I do this a lot as well, do this category actually competitively and try to do serious PB attempts and stuff, and it's really cool. If you're paying attention, there's a lot of different emerald pieces, lots of specific strats for each emerald piece. So it's a lot to show off in the run.
Yeah, it's funny that it was originally just a joke, but it became really competitive afterwards.
Yeah.
We got leaderboards for it. Originally we kinda tried to record all the runs on just Google Doc, but for now we have a category in C2 category extension page with like over 70, I think, submitted runs.
Yeah, there's a lot of runs on the leaderboards.
Alright, I guess we can start soon. And
Yeah.
guess we will use the classic order, going from Wild Canyon to Meteor Herd, like the intended way which you usually go for in Hero Story Run.
Yeah. So yeah, good luck.
Thank you. Wait. A little bit. Trying to fix my little technical issue. Like approximately 30 seconds.
Was that music playing the entire time? Oh no, I muted it, never mind. We're good, we're good.
Alright. I wanna open this screen just in case. Alright. So, I guess we can start. Does anybody want to count down?
Yeah, just count down so I can start it.
Alright. 3, 2, 1, macaroni.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, so Wild Canyon to begin with is like it's the smallest Knuckles stage, but there's a lot of stuff you need to look at in this stage. It's very action-packed. Lots of stuff you need to pay attention to. One of the most important things in Wild Canyon is looking for free pieces, because in Wild Canyon you're not intended to have the shovel claw, the upgrade that allows you to dig into the ground yet. So there are countless of pieces around, just floating around mid-air that you can see if you look for them. So that's one of the most important parts about playing Wild Canyon, to constantly be having to look around the stage for possible free pieces you can get. And even like in the first like 5 seconds of the level, there are like, I don't know, 10 different
Probably
pieces
like
you
12,
can
I
possibly
think.
see. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. Like in Wild Canyon, you really have to be constantly looking around everywhere for pieces. It is really challenging.
Yeah, that was a good example when I missed the piece which potentially is supposed to be free,
Yeah.
but I have a good excuse because my radar was yellow at the beginning, and when that happens I generally use different strat. I don't go for the closest hint and trying to check for one of 2 potential pieces I can get, and it kinda requires a lot of attention, so I wasn't able to check for this free piece, but
Yeah,
still
the
good.
amount of pieces you can check for is so big that basically at some points you gotta make decisions of what to go for, what to check for, and what not. Because there's just so much you could potentially look for, but you can't see everything. So,
Yeah, there's
also
a...
what you
Go ahead.
Yeah, also what you see Tommy at the beginning of the level, where you see him take a moment before he starts moving. He moves the camera to the left before he goes forward, and that is because the camera turns to the left and actually clips into the box behind him, and that makes it possible, if you do it right, to actually see an emerald piece in there as well. So if you pay attention to that, he's turning like the camera a little at the start of the level, and that clips into the box, and if there's a piece in there, you can see it.
Alright. What I can say about RNG right now, it's bad.
Yeah, it's very bad.
I started this round with 31 Wild Cannon, and in general I want to be my average around 22 seconds. And well, Nim pretty much explained most of the stuff already. Like I realized some time ago that it's possible to monetize every third piece as free on lowest floor, but not at the same time, because it can be like around the middle of the stage when you need to go for like this window to go you up. So
Yeah.
ooh, another dented, suspended ceiling. No dented ceiling yet.
Gross. Also, something important to notice about knuckle stages in general. You have all these emerald hints that refer to specific locations, but a lot of times you can have different locations that have the same hint. For example, he got on a sandy path to a stone statue head there, and that can be in several different places, and where it can be can also depend if it's a first, second, or third piece. So there's a lot of details to remember in these stages to perfect them. Oh, here you got another free piece in a storm zone, which is like the best free piece that you can get because it wastes absolutely no time to get.
Yeah, that's right, and it's also part of IL pieces.
Yeah.
At least if
So
you go to
basically,
mission 4.
ILs, if you for these stages, if you do them without death abuse, we refer to that as mission 4 ILs because mission 4 doesn't allow you to death abuse. You can also do them in mission 1. It's just all the no death abuse ILs are referred to as mission 4 for that reason. And in these ILs, you basically want the perfect. You want the perfect piece layout in one go, and collect them without restarting. And if you get the perfect piece layout there, which in a storm zone is part of, you can get times of about 7 or under 8 seconds in Wild Canyon.
What is happening with this RNG right now?
Yeah, this RNG is terrible. He's getting lots of suspended ceiling pieces, which are infamous for being terrible.
Yeah, it's generally one of the worst pieces, especially when it's the second piece. So, well,
Yeah.
just waste a lot of time. I got like 20 one time, but it was the case when I got a Storm Zone free piece, which Nim explained before. Well,
Yeah, basically, if you get like, especially a second piece, which is like very far off to the side, also like Armored Carpool also applies this because it's very far off. Every time you get like a second piece, especially that is like very far off, it is really bad because if it's a second piece, obviously you have to come back afterwards again, so you have to take that long detour to the piece basically twice, one to get there and one to get back. So if you get one of these pieces, you can look out for a free third piece and hoping you don't have to come back anymore. In which, if that happens, you can get pretty good times with these pieces, but most of the times it's bad. Also, Tommy got the Bird Box first piece here, so you start and immediately have a red radar, which is cool.
yeah, it's like the only one case when you like know exactly where a piece was, when you got red radar, when you got yellow radar, and that can be like in 2 places, and there is another case when it can be green, but it immediately go into gray and don't ping anymore once you land after like first frame, so one in the stage.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there are.
Oh. Is it this one? No, it's not.
Yeah, there are. Oh, that's an interesting piece layout here. Wow.
I had to go for hintless in this part because
Yeah.
there are like not that many pieces, but hints would probably just waste of time.
Yeah, these pieces were really close together.
And I just finished Wild Cannon number 10 in 7:03. What doesn't look like very good pace, but it's pretty decent.
It's alright, yeah.
Shatawas to another bird box, first piece.
Oh,
And this great second piece.
and I saw a free piece there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are these moving pieces in the bottom area of Wild Canyon that you can look for as free piece. They're just floating around there, and when you don't get them as free piece, they're actually really hard to grab because it's like hard to get them mid-air, and they move around, so you have to look where they are. So if you don't get them as free, you usually lose a lot of time. It just takes long to get them.
Well, sometimes it doesn't. It's not even faster to go for early third piece, especially when you got piece with hint, a pillar without treasure, because well, it's generally really difficult to go out to win for this. And I feel like the last time when I missed free piece, I'm not sure if I will lose any time because piece was in a really good position when I came back.
Yeah, you did it really fast there, but it can end up losing a lot of time depending on how good you are at grabbing the piece and depending where it is in the cycle.
Shatawas to another suspended ceiling.
Also, yeah, Tommy already said it. Like sometimes you can get, especially in Wild Canyon where there's so many different free pieces you can look for. There's some pieces that you generally like see too late when you're already like very far up in the wind tunnel, so you can't really directly get them without losing a lot of time. So that would be, for example, Pillar without a treasure, one of these pieces that you might end up seeing, but then you don't go for them immediately, and then you just try to implement it into the rest of the route as good as possible. And another sub 20 here, very nice.
Yeah, it was possible only because I annotated this free piece very at the very last moment.
Yeah, like the second piece was very bad, but that was one of the cases where he got saved by a free third piece.
So there is a thing, you can get very bad piece with a hint on a railway, and you can actually get like 3 pieces with this hint, and 2 of them it's possible to notice 2 of them early, but it doesn't make this piece good. It just makes it less bad, kind of.
Yeah, but basically there's this piece in a rock called on a railway, and it's terrible, and because you have to push the rock away, and it just takes really long. And interestingly enough, you can get that one as free piece even though it's in the rock, because sometimes like the texture of the rock loads in like a frame or 2 too late. So before that texture loads in, you can see like the piece flashing up. So you can get it. It's kind of strange. I personally don't really look for it or go for it even, but.
Oh wow, what is this layout? It's really weird, but I'll take that.
This category is actually fairly competitive. It has like a lot of entries on the leaderboards, and at this point most Sonic Adventure 2 runners have run this category.
It's surprisingly competitive.
Yeah, I can post the link to the leaderboards again. It's on the SA2B category extensions page. It's not on the main leaderboards. There's a lot of runs on there.
I have 0 rings. Alright, we're good. That was kinda scary because it's possible to die by this enemy without having any rings. Also, I just got another free piece which has hint at the beginning room. It's like one of the pieces you want to check at the beginning. You can see it for like, I think, maybe 10 frames.
It is. If you know what you're looking for, it's very easy to see. It's just like tricky if you're starting to look for it, because it's like when you're starting the level, the screen kind of fades in as you drop down, which makes it kind of hard to see. But if you've seen it like 1 or 2 times, you know what to look for, and then it's really easy to get to see. So that's like one of the if you're starting out learning this, the beginning room is like one of the first 3 pieces you want to start looking for.
Yeah. And I just got another on the
if I get a donation.
Oh, cool.
Alright, so I got a $20 donation from Kiddo Fox, and it says lots of love from Kiddo Fox and from the SR2 or SRB2 community for allowing us to be part of the marathon. I wish you all the best of luck and hope for the 300th piece of the Master Emerald is actually worth it. We're gonna put this towards the TommyeAsy and Sonic CD.
Awesome.
Oh my god. I just got insane layout.
Oh wow.
It was completely hintless, guys.
Whoa.
Well,
Oh my. Oh wow. That's a 12-second. Oh, that's incredible.
casual 12. Let's go. That's
So he got a really close first piece along with the best free second piece and a really good like free third piece. I mean, along with a really good second piece. That's how quick it can go. I've gotten like times as low as 9 seconds before in Centurions. So Wild Canyon can go really quick if it wants to cooperate.
yeah, especially on like more complicated stages. Oh my god, what is this time? I just finished Wildcat in 19, and world record for Extremity segment is currently 13:36. I think, or 30:32. Or 30:27? Well, it's middle 13. And first part of it was actually bad, but look at it now.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good.
Oh wow.
Is this a sub 14 maybe?
It can be, I don't know. I got another Sandy Path enemy piece, which
Wow.
is pretty far. Followed by Armored Carpool. Alright, it's... Can it be sub 14? It's exactly 14:00
Oh,
and
okay.
10 centiseconds.
But 14 is still incredibly good time for the 20 Wild Canyon segment.
Yeah, I'll take this time. Alright, we're moving to the second stage when we're usually getting Shovel Cloth when we run Hero Story. So we're gonna
Yeah.
get diggable pieces this time. Oh, what a great start. I got very questionable piece with hint double containers. It's very questionable because it can be on one of 3 mountains, and look at it, I just got the
Yeah.
worst one. So I'm trying to use the strat when I read in second hint like intentionally, because there's another hint close to me when I'm trying to break those boxes. And if you do that, you have like approximately 10 seconds delay before reading next hint, and it pretty much saved me from reading next hint before I will grab my first piece.
Oh, I didn't actually know the strat. That's brilliant.
Yeah. It's not necessary
I've-
to grab this piece, it just makes it safer.
Yeah, like when you like the pieces in the boxes, and the boxes are right next to a hint. So a lot of times when you end up punching into the boxes, you accidentally read the hint, and then that hint is gone. You can't use it anymore. So it wastes a lot of time when that happens. And he did a really good strat there to avoid that, which I actually didn't know. Wow.
Well, the more you see.
Yeah. But yeah, Pumpkin Hill in a Centurion is actually quite different than if you played in Hero Story, because as Tommy said earlier, you get the shovel claws in this level, and the way the game forces you to get the shovel claws is by, if you're in Hero Story, it makes sure to only give you third pieces which you have to dig for. So it is impossible in Hero Story to beat the level without picking up the shovel claws. But there are actually a lot of third pieces in this level which are diggable. And all of these pieces you don't see in Hero Story, but you see them in Knuckles Centurion. So if you play Centurion, you see a lot of new pieces, especially on the third slot you haven't seen in Hero Story.
It's kind of fun that the game tries to force you to grab certain upgrades, and well, the only way to skip this upgrade in story is to do Chalky glitch, but even in that case you need to grab the piece as Rouge, at least. Not the piece, but Digging Tool.
Yeah. And this is like one of the few cases where the game forcing you to get something is actually successful, because it is literally impossible to like completely skip the upgrade. because all the diggable pieces are actually programmed to only be obtainable while digging. So even if you would like clip out of bounds or like clip into the floor and go where the piece is, you wouldn't be getting it because the piece is programmed in a way that you can only get it while you're in the digging animation. So it is impossible to skip that upgrade in Hero Story.
So what about amount of those pieces? Generally, there is 32 pieces for each ord. Wait, did I see something? I did. And alright, I misread the hint, but I got free piece, which I never see as free. I'll take that.
Oh wow, nice.
There are generally 32 possible pieces exist for each order, piece 1, piece 2, and piece 3, and there are some extra pieces for first and second order, which known as enemy pieces. That means any of them can be spawned as first or second piece with the same hint. But there's a thing, not every piece exists for certain version of the game for some reason. Some
Yeah.
pieces exist, but they just literally never spawn. So
Yeah, some pieces are in the game files, but they just don't spawn for different reasons. Some are actually broken, and some just will never spawn because of how the algorithm works to generate the layouts. But basically, TLDR, there are about 100 different emerald locations per stage
yeah,
that you have to remember.
yeah. Somewhere it's slightly more than 100. Somewhere like on that space it's only 89.
Yeah. And yeah, enemy pieces are always in as piece 1 or piece 2.
Alright. This Pumpkin Hill doesn't look very well. I just finished 5.
Also, Pumpkin Hill has a huge amount of what I mentioned earlier, like emerald, like hints that can lead to different locations, and a lot of times it's really finicky to know which one it is. It's like sometimes you straight up have to guess. He got one earlier. I'll point it out next time he gets something like that. Or like what he just got there, 3 metal barrels is another good example. Because 3 metal barrels is actually a hint that can be in different locations as well. But if it's a first piece, it is always where you just saw it, and if it's a second piece, it is actually on Ghost Train Mountain. Always, that's consistent.
Yeah, and it's...
These are like details, if you want to get really good at Knuckles, these are like details you will have to remember. There's a lot of that in this game, like a lot of small details that can help you optimize these stages, so you don't have to like look around where pieces are.
I can see a reason why Sadix Centurion isn't that popular. I actually played Sadix in Knuckles Story quite a lot, and there's a thing about piece generations. Each piece doesn't really have any effect to generation for next piece, so they don't really have proper algorithm. You can get any piece with any other, like any layout. It's like completely random. When in SA2 there is actually kind of algorithm. So general rules are like that. First piece is completely random. Wander around in a circle. Let's chill a little bit. So first piece is completely random, and it has the same chance to spawn for like any first piece. Second piece is supposed to be kind of far away from first piece, and it usually spawns in like 50% of the pool of furthest pieces. And third piece is kind of like cross product of a combination of first and second pieces, and sometimes third piece can be really close to first and second.
Yeah, so yeah, there are like in SA2 there are like pretty complicated rules that the game uses to determine which layouts it can spawn. And in Sonic Adventure 1 it is just completely random. There are no rules whatsoever. Like Sonic Adventure 1 also has the distinction of different piece pools for piece 1, piece 2 and 3, like in SA2, but there are like absolutely no rules which ones of these pools it picks and puts together. While in SA2 it is fairly complicated, and the game generally tries to give you pieces that are far apart. Or at least a certain distance apart.
Alright, it's time...
another wander around in the
Yeah,
circle.
it's time to mention why we call this stage Punctuation Hill. So I just
Yeah.
got one around in a circle with like 3 dots at the end, and now it was just one period. And it's actually different pieces if you pay attention to
Yeah.
punctuation or typos.
Yeah, there are some pieces like that where the hint is just, it seems the same, but it like differs very slightly. For example, this case, wander around in a circle, there's one with a ellipsis at the end and one with a period, and there are different locations.
And
There is also some that, like for example, under the chimney, there is a second piece called under a chimney, and that's on a different part of the level. Like small differences you need to pay attention to. It's very finicky.
yeah, second piece under that chimney also exists, and it's on Ghost Train Mountain again. So
Yeah.
article can show you which mountain you need to go for.
Yeah. Also, there's a missile path. There's also a piece called the rocket path. So people mess these up a lot. One is a third piece, one is a second piece. That's also a way to differentiate them. The hint is different. Yeah.
Yeah, Sadix Knuckles levels in general are fairly shorter because there are only 21 different pieces for each stage and only 14 for Casinopolis. When we have, like again, approximately 100 for most levels in C2.
Yeah, treasure hunting in Sonic Adventure 2 is just a lot more complex than in Adventure 1.
This is kind of scary because, well, you can easily die here by fire, but okay, got it.
Yeah.
So there is a hidden spring under those boxes, and sometimes you can use it for better routing. And well, it wasn't a thing like 2 years ago, but we kind of started to use it actively now.
Yeah, that spring is pretty handy.
And you don't really need to break boxes because Knuckles' drill dive and punches are kinda big. You can just punch one box and hit the spring, or you can just dig, being like super close to it. And you make it work. I just finished Pumpkin Foot 10 by the way. And well, it looks like 20 minutes pace for this segment, what is not really good, but again...
Yeah, I mean, you got 2 wander around in a circle, so...
And 1 King of the Hill as well, but again, first part Volcano also wasn't really good. Under the Tracks, that's pretty cool piece. I would call it kinda uncommon, but it has a good reason. Like, generally second pieces being in the middle of the stage or close to it are rare or uncommon, because again of... Oh wow, that's really rare third piece. Because of rules generations. Like, first piece can be anywhere, and
Oh, wow.
it's kinda rare to make second piece spawn in the middle of the stage, because since it's tried to be spawned and like not as far as it's possible, but in furthest pool of potential pieces.
Yeah, like, generally the most rare pieces in every stage are usually second pieces. Always second pieces like in the middle of the stage. The rarest one in Pumpkin Hill is a piece called Cold Iron Bars. And that piece is extremely rare, and it only spawns with first pieces which are on top of Pumpkin Mountain. And you can get it as free piece, and it's literally like just on the way from the spawn point to Pumpkin Mountain. So if you get that piece, you basically win at life. You save so much time.
I'm doing different things now. I read the second hint earlier than I supposed to when I tried to grab first piece, so I tried to guess second piece is gonna be on Pumpkin Mountain. It wasn't there, but I noticed free piece instead, so... Alright, it's saved. It's not that bad now. It's not supposed to be a free piece, though.
Yeah, that was pretty lucky.
Yeah, well, I hope that second piece is supposed to be on this mountain in general, but instead I just got free third piece. I'll take that. This is pretty much the only one piece I like to reset 3-phase Ghost with 1 period, because it's kinda far away from everywhere, it's like on the bottom of the stage, and you need to spend so much time to go, like, to any hint after this one, so I don't know. I don't think anybody else was set for this piece, but I don't like it.
Yeah, that's another one. Like, there are 2 3-faced ghost pieces, one with a question mark and one with a period. The one with a period is on Ghost Train Mountain, the one with a question mark is on Church Mountain. So That's something to remember. And also another first piece he just got. Oh, got another wander around in a circle.
Yes.
Oh man.
This is rough.
Um, he got a first piece like a while ago, like this Pumpkin Hill, called Three Brothers Tombstone. That one is kind of finicky because it's in the ghost, and sometimes the ghost just like despawns or falls through the floor, and then it takes ages until it respawns. And lots of people don't know what to do with this piece. A strat for this is just to approach the graveyard on the bottom of Church Mountain from really low, and then drill dive into the void and get carried up, and then the ghost always respawns. So if he gets that piece, that's what you're gonna see him do. If he gets it again, you'll see it. He did it like that last Pumpkin Hill where he got the piece, but I was a bit late explaining that.
So this time I actually got second piece on this mountain when I tried to go for hintless, and I got kinda swapped second or third piece locations, and yeah, it looks even better now. Oh man.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, this chamber is no bueno. No, this is not a good stage.
Yeah,
Only
Death
because
Death Chamber is really brutal. We're
Only
gonna get
because
to that
of
later.
time variance. It's like even if you know perfectly all the pieces and stage layout and all the strats, it's still not good.
Yeah, Death Chamber is extremely difficult. Like even like for most parts, Knuckles treasure hunting looks fairly simple in terms of routing. Like you just go from piece to piece, but Death Chamber is actually even from a routing perspective fairly complex.
I thought I saw 3 piece here and it's gonna cost me quite a lot of time because I actually didn't. It's gonna cost even more time because Saturday Pumpkin piece 2 in general can be in few spots, and
Oh no.
I don't really have time to go for second hit. I'm just gonna hope it's here. Alright, we good. But
Yeah.
oh my god, another hint with like multiple allocations. Alright, I guess this one too correctly. That's good.
But yeah,
yeah.
Oh, a place where you can hear the horn is a really interesting example, because the hint, a place where you can hear the horn, pay attention to the word where, can be on Church Mountain or Pumpkin Mountain, but there is a hint that is almost the same, which is a place you can hear the horn, without the word where, and that is always on Ghost Train Mountain, and that's a way to differentiate these. And Sad-Eyed Pumpkin is also the piece he got before is also a very interesting example, because if you get Sad-Eyed Pumpkin as a second piece, it can be on 2 different pumpkins, one to the left of Pumpkin Mountain and one to the right of Pumpkin Mountain. But if you get Sad-Eyed Pumpkin as a third piece, it is always to the left of Pumpkin Mountain.
So now I got this 3 piece when I tried to check for the last time. Also I got a blank hint glitch at the end. It's kind of funny.
Oh, nice.
Right, like you have a little delay between when you try to use act button on hint and between the hint actually gonna appear on screen. And if you collect the piece in this little time gap, yeah, well, generally hint will say you nothing.
Yeah. Oh, Tombstone guarded by 4 skulls is a very good first piece.
Yeah. I tried to check for dangerous materials too aggressively, but it's not here.
Tombstone guarded by 4 skulls is like almost a free piece if you get it in Hero Story Run, because you go up to the upgrade and then the radar pings green, so you immediately know what it is.
Well, it's technically not because of 2 reasons. First one is first piece, and well, you get it like in intended order, and secondary, you want to read the hint for first piece on Pumpkin Hill because there is an interesting glitch when you can grab the upgrade again in this little time gap between you read the hint and between hint actually appear on screen, and if you do that it can cancel animation for grabbing the upgrade.
Yeah.
It doesn't
But
say
it is almost one.
but it's faster for real time.
Yeah. Also some movement tech I haven't explained yet, if it's not obvious. While Tommy is gliding, he always like does short drill dives and continues gliding, and that is because if you glide in a straight line, you just you continuously angle yourself downward. So the longer you glide, the more height you lose. But if you do all these short drill dives in between, you can actually reset your glide, and that makes you stop angling yourself downward. So if you have a really tight glide, a really long distance you have to make without losing a lot of height, you want to do lots of these short drill dives to have the maximum amount of height you can get.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of stage we probably didn't explain yet. And, well, this time I actually got really good double containers. It can be again on 3 spots on like 3 mountains, and well, it was the best one definitely.
Yeah, double containers is like a gamble piece. That's like on
Oh,
3 opposite ends of
finally!
the level.
Something that is not terrible. I'll say Mr. Peace did
Oh, that's
well.
really good.
Yeah, but to be honest, Pumpkin Hill is going a lot worse than Balkan in terms of RNG. I don't feel like it's a bad run, but pieces sometimes are really bad. Alright.
I mean, that's just how it goes. In Knuckle Centurion, you're always gonna get bad layouts eventually.
Alright, this is my last Pumpkin Hill, and unfortunately we're not gonna get
No cold iron bars.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Yeah. I mean, this piece is so rare, it almost never shows up.
Yeah, there's a thing like we have not we, game has like 1024 potential different layouts when you enter the stage for the first time. And we actually got that list for Pumpkin Hill and Hero Story style, and Cold Iron Bar spawned only 7 times there.
Yeah, so it's like 7 out of 1024 that you get that piece. So very uncommon.
Alright, it was middle 19 minutes for Pumpkin Hill, not that great.
That's alright.
And
That's kind of average, I guess.
And it's time for probably most technical stage, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, Aquatic Mine is, in terms of movement tech, it's the most difficult stage, I would say. And we're gonna see why in a second. Something important to notice about Aquatic Mine is you have these different water levels and the switches to change the water level. Something you pretty much, like almost every time you're gonna see him do, at the start of the stage he goes up to the top room and hits the water level 3 switch. And you pretty much see him do that every time, no matter what piece he gets. Like, there are some exceptions, but most of the time he will do that. And that is because, like, oh, he grabbed Omochao.
I accidentally grabbed Omochao when I tried to do Punch XL.
Yeah, pretty much with water level 3, you pretty much don't have any water on the stage at all. And with that water level, you can reach almost every piece. There are a few exceptions where you have to change it. So that's the general strat that you do. You always go up first, change the water level, and then continue. Another reason for that is that because even if you get a piece that doesn't need water level 3, you can still go up and look for potential free pieces there.
Yeah,
so that's another good reason.
I have specific role for checking for a bunch of free pieces, or for a bunch of second and 1/3 piece, which you potentially can notice earlier. And well, I got second piece on the top this time, but it was diggable one. That is obviously not possible to check as free, except when you like really want to go for dig, but it's really blind shot.
Yeah.
And well, we're gonna have a couple of different texts on this stage. Like, I hope I will be able to show it really soon. Finally, the thing when you got first piece with green or yellow radar, you don't really need to check the hint behind you. You can just go up immediately. But if your radar doesn't ping, you want to check hint behind you first, because there are like a couple of pieces you want to reset, because it takes forever to go for it and come back for like any second piece. And now I finally was able to show both new takes. First one is you can do wall run punching at the beginning of these sign clips, and it saves quite a lot of time. And second one is sign clip, which also can save you time to go for certain places like Ghost Room.
Yeah, these signs really take the stage apart. Like you can clip out on any of these signs and get to anywhere from out of bounds pretty much. And you can even get them use them to get on the wall
Oh no, I hit
and
him.
run up it.
Alright,
Ah,
we good. We good.
let's see this.
That was amazing layout.
Oh, okay, that's really good. But yeah, the reason you really want to avoid hitting Omochao is because while Omochao talks, you cannot read a hint. So when Omochao talks, you have to wait until he's done talking. That's
and
really
it's
annoying.
quite a lot. It's probably longer than 10 seconds. But if you're going far away fast enough, you can pretty much prevent the situation and recover.
Yeah.
Oh
So
wow!
a lot.
This layout again. Like
So-
two
so
pieces,
a-
right? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting though. But yeah, a lot of times when you accidentally hit Omochao, you just want to go hintless and just go where you would assume the next piece is gonna be, and then if not, you just get a hint as soon as possible. Because like if you sometimes Omochao lines are so long, you just waste a lot of time waiting for it to end. And now you unfortunately cannot clip out from the top room.
Alright, I really want to get free piece when I got first piece in Ghost Room, and well, I don't generally like pieces here. It's okay when
Yeah,
it's
Ghost Room is pretty slow.
another left eye of the jumbo face. It's already the third one. Alright. I finally got wall run dig. That's pretty neat.
Nice. Yeah, that's a really cool strat. So Tommy uses a sign there to get on the wall, and then he keeps the gravity from being on the wall, and actually uses the wall as a floor and digs into it as if he was like, as if it was a floor. It's really cool. Really cool strat.
Pumpkin Hill free piece ration was 10% approximately. That's cool. Right. It was possible to get guard under the switch, which is like one of the best free pieces. Well, didn't spawn this time.
Yeah, next to the switch, you have that enemy spawning, and there can be a piece inside. They always want to destroy that guy.
There's a chance that they're gonna use.
The Abyss is a terrible piece.
Yeah. Alright. So there is a sign, or I mean there is a hint which you can use to actually clip and go auto bounce, because it's gonna push you if you
Oh,
stand at a very precise spot and do spiral up. And well, it saves quite a lot of time compared with like any other way to go for Ghost Room from this narrow path.
yeah, that's like a really advanced strat. Like I personally don't use it yet. I have to learn it, but it is really cool. You can use these hint monitors. That's also possible in like Death Chamber. I don't know if you do that anywhere in Death Chamber, but it's possible
Yeah,
to
you
use
can
it.
like to do it in like 2 spots.
Yeah, I mean if you use it, because I don't know if that's the optimal routing choice every time.
I'm not really sure yet, but it
But-
might be optimal when you're doing Hero Story run and when you skip the upgrade.
No, I
This is
see. Yeah,
definitely the
it
case.
is. It is possible in Death Chamber, and it's also possible in Dry Lagoon to use it if you're playing Rouge.
Yeah, Dragon is really helpful.
But yeah, for Aquatic Mine, these hint clips are very situational, so mostly it's a case of if you go from the narrow path to the Ghost Room.
So I just got double 40, and I don't like this. RNG
Yeah,
is
it's
kind
not-
of mean in this run, honestly. But this run looks actually fairly good. We're doing like a lot of tricks, and most of them were down for strike, except one run deep.
It's a good marathon run so far.
Alright. It looks like I'm gonna be use this hint clips for second time if last piece gonna be in Ghost Room. Yep. Alright. Saves a lot of time compared with like other 2 methods to go for. Like you can go there casually, you can go for wall run and sign near the closest sign to this room, or you can do another sign clip but all of them are slower roads than use this one. But there's a thing about hint clip out. It's not particularly hard trick, but on Aquatic Mine you also need to read this hint first. So its hitbox kinda different, and it disappears after a short amount of time. So you need to go really fast with this hint, with this specific hint clip out.
Yeah. Also, for everyone who's late, I'm gonna explain again what a Knuckle Centurion is. A Knuckle Centurion is every Knuckle stage done 20 times, which was originally practice category to learn all the different piece locations in every stage. But people started racing it a lot, and now people are doing it competitively actually, and actually do real PB attempts in this. And it has a lot of runners. Like mostly every Sonic Adventure 2 runner has done this category at some point now. The leaderboards are for it are pretty crowded. And it's a really cool category to show off all the different emerald locations, and a lot of them have really specific strats for them. So you see a lot of, if you pay attention, you see a lot of variety in it.
Alright, there is a piece which you normally can see as free during cutscene, which is... I don't even know the hint for this anymore.
I don't either.
I keep forgetting hints for all the free pieces.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's gonna be challenging. So, there are two pieces which can have a hint, dented ceiling, and first one is actually kinda easy to grab, but the piece I just got is kinda pixel perfect jump. Yeah, I need to be on specific place. Alright, I got it, third try. So, we originally thought it's impossible to grab this piece with jump like that, but we finally found a visual cue. But intended way requires you to go for water level switch number 2, and just then swim there, or just at least clip.
Yeah, that's really hard to get. Like, as Tommy said, there's two different locations for dented ceiling. This was the bad one. The good one you can actually just very easily get by gliding underneath. But this one, it's not that easy, and the trick you just saw him pull off there was really precise.
Oh.
And yeah, there is also a Rouge Centurion, but it's run a lot less. Rouge has only 4 treasure hunting stages as opposed to 5, so you do them 25 times each, and not as many people do it.
Yeah, Rouge is actually really brutal. It
Yeah,
has
Rouge
only
is
4 stages, but Regenerance is a lot bigger in this category, and it's generally slower category because of that, and it's generally more difficult to grind for. And
yeah,
also,
Rouge Centurion is really brutal.
Also, there is a stage called Security Hall, which most people don't really like. I enjoy playing this stage, but I fully understand why people can hate it. In general, there are like a lot of potential pieces you can get with the same hint. It's like up to 7. That's quite a lot. So you need to spend a lot of time on practicing this.
Like Security Hall is the main reason I personally don't play Rouge Centurion ever. Like, I've done it, but I almost never do it. And the main reason is Security Hall. Like, a lot of people like really fear Mad Space, but Mad Space is actually my favorite Rouge level. So I really like playing that one. But like Security Hall and also kind of Dry Lagoon are the reason I don't do a lot of Rouge Centurion personally.
Yeah, I legit hate Dry Lagoon more because of design of the stage. So as I mentioned before, you can get enemy pieces which can be as second or first. And on Dry Lagoon there are enemies only on very top area of first part of the level, which is known as Small Oasis. So if you got first piece somewhere in Big Oasis, there is a huge chance to get second piece on the top of it, and considering the stage can take only like 20 seconds, if you got second piece on the top, it increases your time at least to 40 seconds and even more.
Yeah, like out of every stage in this game, Dry Lagoon has probably the biggest variety. Like, it can range anywhere from like 20 seconds up to like 50, or
it can be above
I don't know.
Easily.
Yeah, if you get really unlucky. Like Dry Lagoon, like I really enjoy the stage casually, but in a speedrun it is just it just has an extremely large variance, and grinding for a good Dry Lagoon in like a Rouge Centurion, a good Dry Lagoon segment can be really frustrating.
Alright, finally I got something cool. What has the hint? 3 fans. Oh, I need to read the hint first.
Oh yeah.
So,
So yeah, there's different 3 fans pieces, and they float like on the left side of the main hall in front of these fans, and you can see them as free.
yeah,
Really cool if you get them.
you probably mentioned before that I'm trying to change my camera to the left side for a little bit at
Yeah.
the beginning of each stage, and this is the reason. There are like
Yeah.
4 potential pieces, which actually 5 potential pieces they can spawn on this side, which are scoop pulley, 3 fans, or near the wall. Like 3 of them has the same hint, 3 fans.
Yeah,
it's not a problem.
there are three fans. So you really at the start of Aquatic Mine, when you go up, you really want to go like look to the left and see if you can see any of these.
Alright, another first piece goes through without 3 pieces. That's gonna be
It's
brutal.
terrible.
Nothing free. Alright, that's fine. Second piece is kinda good. Oh, another brutal piece. Front of Mysterious door.
Ah,
There is a problem about this piece. There are actually 2 pieces has hint like that, and they're very close to each other. But it makes sometimes hard to get this piece first try because positions are slightly different, and it's really hard to realize which one you get.
yeah. And like you go up at the beginning of the stage like every time almost. So it's really annoying when you have to go up again later for like a piece like that. So it's really annoying when you get these.
So many first pieces in Ghost Room. I don't
Ah.
like this. I feel like most of my first piece is gonna be in Green Room in this chamber, what is really bad.
That's how it looks for me every time I try to play Aquatic Mine.
Nothing free. Alright, it's already second piece, Family's Who's or something like that. I already forgot this. But,
Front of a family of skulls.
yeah, but it's kinda uncommon because again, it's second piece and it's right in the middle of the stage, so it's kinda cool when
Yeah.
it happens.
I don't think Aquatic Mine has any super uncommon pieces though. Like nothing like Cold
Yeah.
Iron Bars on Pumpkin Hill or anything. Like there are uncommon pieces in Aquatic Mine, but none of them are like super rare.
I agree.
While all the other stages have like at least 1 or 2 super rare pieces that you see like once in a lifetime. And I mean that literally. Like there are literally pieces in this game that I've seen once in my life, and I've been speedrunning this game for like 4 years. So like some pieces, and I do these Centurions a lot. So I've played these Knuckle stages thousands of times, and there are literally pieces in there that some of them I've only like seen once or twice ever. So
So I just got
some of these are like borderline winning a lottery when you get them.
it was just a showcase of another free piece, which is kinda uncommon. When I'm going back like this and trying to punch this card, barrel actually disappear because of draw distance. But if piece is inside this barrel, piece actually still there, so we can notice it earlier.
Oh yeah.
I don't really need this hint clip out, but I feel like it's gonna be faster to hit this spring because my second piece is on very top, and that's not good. Alright, we got it. And under the flat tension ground is actually also in 2 spots. Both of them are under this weight, and
Yeah.
you need to dig in a very precise spot to consistently hit both hitboxes of this.
You just jump out of the ceiling there. This is no, this is more hard than it looks. Basically, you have to spiral upper, like right where the hint is, and kind of the hint monitor has a collision, and if you position yourself right, it pushes you out of bounds. So you need the hint monitor to be there, and you need a fairly specific position. It is really challenging to do.
So I just made a really difficult decision when I got free piece
Oh, yeah,
caught
I've
near
seen
the
that.
wall, but I got fairly bad first piece, which is underwater. And I remember when I actually tried to go for it before, and it was bad. So I just preferred to reset, and I got fairly good layout instead. And that was my final Aquatic Mine.
Yeah, so a lot of times you get not a lot of times in this level, but there are like two pieces in Aquatic Mine where when you get them, you just want to restart the stage because they take so long. And he got one of them there. That's why he restarted there. You're gonna see like this restarting a lot more later in Meteor Herds. That's the most used to restart first pieces. But for now, we make it to Death Jammer, which is like the most Oh, now I'm curious. Oh, I know what happens.
Alright.
Oh, nice. So yeah, he used the golden box there to clip out of bounds. We call that booty clip. And inside that golden box is actually a piece which you can get when you clip out. So he got really lucky there.
Yeah,
But,
I like the feeling.
But yeah, as I've said, Death Jammer is like the most complex knuckle stage. It is made out of like 4 main rooms. There is the red room in which you start in. There is the green room, there's the blue room, and there's the core room, which is between them. And basically, because the level is so big, a lot of times you, especially when you see him get a first piece in the blue room, you will see him do something called death strats. And so he gets the first blue room piece, and it also works with core. Let's see if he does it for Big Marshmallow now.
Yeah, I feel like I wanna go for it. It doesn't
Yeah.
work as good as for after first pieces in blue, but it still works fairly often. You got
Yeah,
it.
let's... Nice.
Box.
So basically what happens there, like the main idea is every time you die, the pieces that you still have to collect are being re-rolled. So and because the first piece was so far away, and the game has these rules under which it spawns emerald pieces, that if you get a first piece very far away, there is a very high chance that after getting that far away first piece and you die, you respawn in red room and get a piece right where you respawn. So runners do that especially if you get a first piece in blue room. So you get the piece and then you just die over and over again, and usually you get a piece up on respawn fairly quickly after a blue room first piece. So that's what you see people do. You can also do it for green room pieces, but it is less likely to work out, and you can also do it for core pieces, which is better than blue room, than green room, I mean.
Yeah. Poor success rate for death strats to work after first piece in green is the exact reason why I just reset twice. And
Yeah.
well, as you can see, after first piece in blue, I got second piece in red with first try.
Yeah.
But sometimes it doesn't work that good. But in general, success rate is nearly 50% for most of pieces in blue room. So
Yeah, you have
it's good
a
gamble.
pretty good chance to get one immediately when you die after a blue piece, a first piece. That it's important that's the first piece, that you can't do it from like piece 2 to piece 3. That won't work, or it's very unlikely to work. So please don't do that. Please don't like start running the game and try it out and then blame me for giving you wrong info. Don't do it from piece 2 to piece 3. Only piece 1 to piece 2.
Yeah, it's possible to get all the pieces in the red room as well, like doing mission 1 strat, just in case
Yeah.
if I will get specific first piece, which has hint, bugs on patrol, second piece, rusted keys, and third piece is like any other piece, which can have a green ping at the beginning.
Yeah, there's that rare case which
Oh,
where you can get 2 respawn pieces if you get really lucky, and that is like the same way mission 1 ILs with death abuse work, which I've mentioned earlier briefly. But basically, as you know, when the game doesn't, the game has these rules in which it spawns the layouts together.
Oh wow.
To make sure they're not too close, the individual pieces. But if you collect the pieces in the opposite order, it pretty much ignores these rules. So if you happen to get a third piece in red room, then you can die and you can still get a second piece in red room, and then you can die and you can still get a first piece in red room. So that's how these death abuse mission 1 ILs work. So basically you pick the 3 pieces closest to you, and then you just die over and over until you get them. And then you can get times of like a handful of seconds. Like I believe the mission 1 record for Death Chamber is like 6 seconds? 6.5? Something like that?
I think it's 7.
7 seconds, yeah, but it's really low. For Wild Canyon, the record in Mission 1 is actually under 1 second,
Yeah,
which
this
is crazy. Shoutouts to Chain Jumper. But yeah, that's how these Mission 1 ILs work, and you can make use of that in a run actually in Death Chamber, kind of. If you what I mentioned earlier, the death strats, if you for example get a blue first piece, and then you die, and then you turn around, or then you see the third piece, one of them, or like the only one you can actually see, you're not gonna get a radar for it, so you actually have to see it. You can get bugs on patrol, which like floats around the room, like in front of the wall on the ceiling there, and you can see it. So if you get a first piece in blue, then die, and then you get that piece, you actually can get it, and then you can die again, and then continue death threats, and just get another second piece in blue room, in red room. Sorry. So you can get two respawn pieces in one level if you get really lucky, because you just collected these in the reverse order.
Yeah, there's another thing about bugs on patrol. It's actually possible to notice it really early at like as fast as you spawn, because it's actually on your screen if you're playing on 16:9 resolution for like good 6 frames, and it's kind of precise, but once you get used to it, you can see it fairly often, not like all the time.
I still haven't figured out how to see it, but yeah, when you respawn, or like when you spawn into the level, if you play like widescreen, you can see the bugs on patrol piece like
oh, gross.
on the side of the screen, but it's very hard to see it.
This is probably like most famous piece to be like as one of the worst, but well, it's not as bad as some pieces on Aquatic Mine can be, but it's kinda annoying because you need to go to a secret room, you need to hit this hourglass, you need to dodge these shots, and then you are able to get this piece finally. It just takes so long.
Also, by the way, these door clip outs that you saw Tommy do there to get to the piece faster, they're kind of similar to the sign clips on Aquatic Mine. I think they work for the same reason as far as I know. So basically you have the door frame, which is just like a regular wall that you can grab onto, and then you have the door itself, which is like an object that's not part of the level geometry, that's an object, and they have different collision. Like for example, you can grab onto the wall, but you cannot grab onto the door. So if you like glide, and like these two different types of collision, they kind of like collide, I guess, in lack of a better word. And then if you glide right in the middle of them, the door actually pushes you out, because the game like doesn't know how to handle these two collisions, kind of. And that's how both the sign clip outs and the door clip out in Death Chamber work, as far as I know.
So I just did very specific strat for Fire Dance. In general, this piece is not really in blue room. It's kind of close to it, but not really. So the strat is not working really well for this one. And when I'm going for this first piece and I'm using booty clip, I'm trying to like kind of check or scan for second pieces in the red room from auto bounce, and if I know it's there, I'll just go there deathless, since, well, I know it's there for now at least. And I just grab second piece hintless, which has been like buried in the wall, just because of that.
Yeah. Snakes looking at each other, also like a good death piece. See if it works out. You can get free pieces as well in the core room, by the way. And if you get these, it's fairly uncommon, but it's extremely lucky if that happens.
Alright, this is a good example why I do not like this stage.
Yeah. Yeah, so sometimes you just die over and over and you just don't get lucky and don't get a piece. So sometimes we've had cases where you die like 10, 11, 12 times until you get a piece, but oh man, that doesn't look good.
Alright, it took only 7 attempts to make this piece to spawn.
That's not too bad. We've had worse.
Again, it usually works first try, but sometimes it requires that long. So yeah, it's kind of not good. There is a different strat for this. Instead of just keep dying, you can just go for the hint first and read the hint, and if it's close to... What am I doing? And if it's close to red room or in core, most people can go for it if they check the hint first, but in general I don't like this idea, especially when I got a piece like corner room, because it's kinda not the best position to go for potential third piece. It's kinda like narrow path, and well, unfortunately that might happen sometimes.
Yeah, it can.
Fly higher than a bird. It's probably one of the worst pieces on this stage.
Yeah.
Like first pieces. It's not just in green room. You need to climb a lot to get this piece, and it's kinda annoying.
Yeah, it's like all the way up in the ceiling. It's really slow. And since you can't even like do good death strats from green room, like a lot of time, a lot of people just reset for a lot of green room first pieces because they just take so long and they're not really usable for death strats.
Actually, I will just keep dying for this. So when I get my first piece in green, I kinda use different death strats. I'm trying to get the piece between red and blue path in general, and if it's not there I can just keep dying. It's slower than what I can do for first piece in blue, but if I will... Oh my god, I lost so much time. If you can make this piece spawn here, third piece is likely gonna be good, except when it's iron protect the save, what I just got. So I just gonna reroll it and do a death warp.
That's terrible.
To make closer to it. This is pretty much the same spot, but using death warp would actually be faster in that case.
Yeah. Sometimes you just want to die just to warp yourself back to red room, even if you don't get a good piece in red or something like that. A lot of times it's just like useful to like just warp yourself back. In this specific case, he didn't get a better piece, but he just got warped to the red room because of the death, and then he was closer to it. So
it's also a better
he
piece.
saved the time to walk back.
It's faster to grab by a second. Once
It's so slightly better.
Alright, another piece in blue room. I believe in miracle. What is not supposed to be a miracle, it's supposed to be a regular thing. Alright, I wanna die in sub 23, I think. Oh, rip. High 23. And it doesn't work again. I don't like this.
With these death strats and death chamber, something you really want to try to optimize as well. What most people, or like many people, don't really pay much attention to is actually making sure you die quickly. So actually setting yourself up so you can kill yourself really quickly after you get the piece, that you don't waste a lot of time. And dying quickly can be very challenging. You can eventually end up losing a lot of time if you don't do it optimally.
Alright, I'm playing this stage for almost 14 minutes and I finished only 10th this chamber, so yeah, it's quite long. It's the longest stage for Knuckles.
It definitely is.
By a big margin.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Oh wow. Alright, I can recover, I believe. Sniper. That's pretty decent piece. Another decent piece in blue room. And this hint is pretty accurate because this guy is so good. He's so good, so he's gonna actually snipe me before I will kill him. Because I wanna lose all my rings anyway. Hey, sub 20 seconds death. That's good. And it doesn't work again. Come on. Finally.
It's closer.
This piece being with red color for such a long time, so I don't really need the hint to realize it's here. This piece has the hint where the box used to be. This piece is under the light. It's kind of interesting piece because it's underground, but it's not diggable one. So it's possible to get this piece from outer bounds if I will get it correctly. Alright.
Yeah,
It doesn't work for most pieces which are buried underground because, well, if they code it as diggable, the game forces you to have dig animation or dig action to get it.
yeah, I explained that earlier on Pumpkin Hill. Like, pieces that are placed underground are usually actually coded in a way to make sure you only get them in the digging animation. So if they're coded like that, you cannot get them from out of bounds, even if you can reach them. But some pieces, there are like some exceptions, like the one he just showed, that are literally just like regular pieces which are placed out of bounds. And these pieces you can actually clip for, but it's only some pieces. Like in this stage, it's the one he just got, and I think Flat Scorpion is one.
Oh, yeah. It's another diggable
Uh,
piece. Oh. Alright, I got very bad first piece, which is Bug's Defense, which is near the ceiling of green, followed by Rusted Keys, which I noticed earlier, so I just decided to reroll my first piece, and got fairly decent first piece, but, well, last piece doesn't want to cooperate anyway.
By the way, the piece that you can get from out of bounds, which I just mentioned, Flat Scorpion, is actually part of the IL, the most optimal layout. If you go for that. What is the record? The mission 4 record for this? 18 seconds?
It's 17 now.
17. Okay.
Yeah, I hated to grind this mission 4. It's so
Yeah.
bad.
Tommy actually has most of the mission 4 IL records for the treasure hunting stages.
Yeah, I have 8 out of 9. I still need to do quarters, but I'm not that lucky on this stage for some reason. Or sometimes I can just choke it because of bad execution. Like, there is a thing about mission 4, you have only one shot if you got layout
Yeah.
spawn. And if you mess up execution a little bit, well, it's over. You need to grind for another good set.
Yeah, mission 4 ILs and treasure hunting stages are really rough. Because basically you go for, at least if you're trying to go for like a record or something, there is like one specific layout that you want, and because you restart all the time, you have like a lot more.
Game tries to kill me so badly.
Oh wow! Oh god!
Alright, we got this second time.
That can happen.
There is a thing,
Wait.
grabbing this piece using booty clip is actually 1 second faster because, again, you don't need to deal with hourglass. Like, you enter the room at the same time, but you can clip back in to this piece
Yeah.
area immediately. But game tried to kill me one time.
But basically for the mission 4 ILs, you want to go for one very specific layout that you figured out beforehand is the fastest. And in mission 4, because you restart all the time, you have like thousands and thousands of different piece combinations. As far I don't know actually how many,
Yeah,
but a lot of them, a lot more than you can get in Hero Story or in Knuckles Centurion setting when you
believe-
don't restart.
I believe it's at least over 200 or 1,000. At least.
Yeah, it is like crazy high number of different layouts, and you basically you just restart until you get it, and then when you happen to get it, you have to actually execute it well and not have your nerves kill you, because like sometimes you just end up, when you do these, you just end up sitting there for hours and hours and hours and just restarting. And then imagine suddenly you get what you were hoping for all along, and then you have to play well under the pressure. Like, that is brutal. And then if you mess up, it feels so bad.
Yeah.
It is really rough. I've done a lot of these mission 4 ILs as well, because I know how to have a good time apparently. And it is just it is really rough.
Yeah, you kinda like keep chilling when you like reset over and
Yeah.
over again, and once you realize that you potentially got the layout, you grind it for hours, you just start shaking way too early, and
Yeah.
well, it's kinda hard to deal with.
Like these mission 4 ILs can kind of like work like meditation or something. Like, you just sit there and you just relax and restart all the time, Like you can listen to music. Like if you if you feel like doing nothing in particular and just chill out, just do that and listen to music and restart the stage.
Oh.
But then as soon as you get what you were waiting for, you just like your adrenaline raises like so bad, and you get so like this is like the most intense part. Like the moment when you realize you got the third piece that you need, it's incredible.
If you pay attention to this piece hint which just got us piece 2, it actually has typo and it says the
Yeah.
place where the light is used to be shining instead of shining.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, there are like a couple of typos and hints, especially on security hall.
Yeah. And yeah, there's a 99 lives glitch in this game. It's fairly simple. There are several tutorials of it on YouTube, so if you need 99 lives, just look that up on YouTube. 99 lives glitch Sonic Adventure 2.
No, don't die! No, no, no! You're doing mission 1 strats.
Oh god. Oh wow. Okay,
Oh.
okay.
Oh.
So that's what I've talked about earlier.
Oh!
We're doing mission 1 IL now. Okay.
No, we'll take any first piece. Oh, it's
Rip.
It's kind of bad. It's in green room, but I'll take that, you know.
Imagine getting like a time of 15 seconds in the Knuckles Centurion.
I mean,
or
I got
something.
14 before
10.
that way in
Did it
Centurion.
really?
Yeah, it happened only once, but
Oh wow.
it happened.
I didn't know that.
It was part of previous world record, and it was a terrible split to run against.
Imagine.
Oh wow! I finally got Bugs on Patrol, and it was funny that I got Roasted Keys immediately after this. Alright, I got kinda questionable piece, E or 1, because it can be
Yeah.
near the core where I just tried to check for, but since it's not here, it's on green path, and it's not really good, because again, we don't really like
Yeah.
green room first pieces, because of poor
This
success
piece
rate.
is like either pretty good or
Oh,
absolutely terrible.
it worked, somehow.
It's closer.
Oh, did you get green room strats?
Oh,
Oh, nice. That's really uncommon
yeah,
to get a death piece after green room. That's very lucky. Usually people, usually when runners die after a green room first piece, it's mostly just to get a death warp back to red. But if you get really lucky, you might also get a piece. But you shouldn't like reset repeatedly for a death piece after green.
there are 3 this chamber left since now. About to start 18. Let's see what we'll get. The middle of red ice. Let's go. Another first piece in blue. Nothing free in core again. Oh well, that's fine.
It's closer to the left. It's over.
Sub 20 to death. Alright, that's good.
It's over.
Why the strat doesn't work better after first pieces in blue instead of green? This is silly.
Sometimes this level does that. Level likes to
It's
troll
not
you.
how it works. Come on, game. Enable the neck. Alright.
Yeah, that's Sonic Adventure 2 for you.
That's this chamber for you. Alright,
Yeah, especially that.
now I got merry-go-round, which was possible to get with the first piece. It's pretty cool, 3 piece. It also can be part of another IL layout.
Yeah, that was the old IL layout before the one that's currently used was discovered.
I'm pretty sure it still can match the same time with layout which is this piece. It's just kinda difficult, but you need to do like completely different things.
Yeah.
Because I saw when Emerua did like visual with movement for current world record layout and for this specific layout, he finished at the same time, and I don't really remember what time was, but well, Emerua has really decent execution, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh no! I got green shield when I am about to do death strats.
Ah, that's annoying.
Yeah, I need to get damaged thrice now. Oh my god, the strat actually worked for core pieces as well. What is happening?
Yeah, that's what I meant earlier. Like, dying quickly can actually be pretty challenging, like, especially when the game likes to uh, make you not die. Like when you dig for a piece or something, and then you accidentally dig up rings um, or a shield. That's really annoying when that happens.
Alright. 37 is one death, it's kinda cool.
Yeah, that's really good.
And here we go, it's gonna be very last this chamber. Finally! It's gonna be over soon. Golden Goddess is another kinda questionable piece because it can be in blue or green if it's first piece, and I want to read the second hint for this because it clearly says when it is.
Yeah, Golden Goddess, if it's a first piece, can be in blue and in green room, so you need a second hint. But if it's a second piece, it's always in blue room.
Oh.
Death Chamber actually, as hard as Death Chamber is as a level, but it has very little ambiguous hints, at least.
Oh! This is so weird!
Oh! Okay, there was Bugs on Patrol. Oh! Oh my god, Tommy!
What is happening? Why does
How are
that
you doing
properly
that?
work with first piece
That's-
in green? That's
That's
illegal.
incredible. There's
Alright.
no way that should have worked. That's incredible.
Yeah, I agree. Alright, time to suffer.
Okay, yeah, time for Meteor Herd. Meteor Herd is after Aquatic Mine and Death Chamber, execution-wise, very simple. Like, execution-wise, this is probably the easiest stage. But the problem with Meteor Herd is it's very big. And also, it is very hard to orient yourself. So the main challenge in Meteor Herd is...
You
oh,
know
no,
what's
I
gonna
know what
happen.
happens.
Yes, you know.
So
Can we start counting floating stones for like some donations?
Yeah.
Ah. This is
But
by
yeah,
far the worst possible piece on the stage.
Yeah, it is. It
You
really
need to
is.
climb so much.
It's terrible. But yeah, as I've said, the main challenge in Meteor Herd is to keep your orientation, especially because it's like very big in three-dimensional space. So you have all these big platforms floating around that all look the same, and huge, very important part to optimizing Meteor Herd is always knowing in which direction you have to go, no matter where you are. That's like the main way to optimize this level. Because execution-wise, there's not that much going on,
But
as like an Aquatic Mine or Death Chamber.
all those platforms kinda chaotic on this level around, so
Yeah.
you
It's
kinda
very hard to tell them apart.
need to know where all the pieces are.
Mm.
I don't like this beginning of Meteor Herd.
Yeah, important about the layout of the level as a whole, there's like the big bottom area. Then there's, as soon as you go up the rocket, there is like the whole middle area with all the floating platforms, and then you can go another rocket up, and there are the balconies and such. So we generally categorize the pieces by which of these areas they are.
I can see a question about bugs on patrol check on 4x3 resolution. The answer is yes, you can see it, but not as early as when you're playing on 16:9. So you don't really see it when you spawn, but when you rotate to check for roasted keys, you have a good chance to check for this piece as well. It just takes
Yeah,
slightly more time.
It's easy to get to see bugs in patrol if you turn your camera around. But if you want to see it while spawning in without turning the camera, you have to play on 16:9.
It's closer.
Oh wow,
Oh, that's a very interesting second piece.
that's very cool
Oh
layout.
wow, that's incredible. Like that second piece is actually not anymore, but it used to be part of the M4 layout as well.
I would say it's generally the best second piece you can get in run for single segment.
Yeah, probably.
Oh no, I don't like this piece. The Giant's Machine Protecting the Arc is the very last piece you want to go for at the beginning.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I've teased that earlier, but in Meteor Herd, you really see a lot of resetting for first pieces, and that is because the stage is so large. So basically, you want to reset every piece that is like unreasonably far away from where you are, which includes all the first pieces on the very top. There is one called Dangerous Liquid that can be in the middle and the top, so
Yeah,
you
you
don't
can
reset
get
for that, because if you get the middle one, it's actually a really good piece. But every other top first piece you want to reset for, and you also want to reset for bottom pieces that are like on the very back of the map, like on the opposite side, pretty much. Not particularly only because it takes you so long to get there, but also because it takes you so long to get back from them. Because you have to go there and then you have to go back all the way up again to the middle. So these waste a lot of time. So you see a lot of resetting on first pieces for Meteor Herd.
It's closer now.
Yeah, it's not particularly like necessary to reset for them. They're like still kind of better than first pieces on the very top, because if you got first pieces on the very top, even with 3 pieces, you're guaranteed not gonna get a good time. But for most of bottom pieces, your time is gonna be between average and bad. So
So also,
you can take
if
average.
yeah, also if you're talking about like rare pieces, there are some really uncommon pieces in this level that only spawn after like these pieces that you usually reset on, so like far away bottom pieces or very high top pieces. So in a speedrun you always reset for those, so there are a couple of like especially second pieces you pretty much never see, unless the only real case where you see them would be if you get Dangerous Liquid top, because you don't reset for that one. Like some rare pieces in this level as well.
I believe in rare piece after this particular first piece. Oh no, it's not rare.
Yeah, it can happen. Also, going for in the center of a triangle star is a risky move.
it's
Most
kind
people
of
reset for
questionable,
this.
but looks like it works.
It's closer.
Oh,
Got
nice. You
middle
got the
dangerous
middle
liquid.
dangerous liquid.
Yeah,
cool.
and well, yeah, it's kind of expected that last piece is gonna be on the very top, but to be honest, I was really close to rockets, so I don't really mind this layout.
Yeah,
Like this
having to go to the top from there is pretty good. Like some of the best layouts you can get, aside from very obvious exceptions like getting all 3 pieces in the middle or getting middle bottom bottom or something like that. Something that's more common and more optimal, not more optimal but a lot more common, is getting like a middle piece right where the rocket drops you off, the first one. Then you go up to the top and get a piece there where the rocket drops you off, and then you get a third piece in the middle again. And like middle, top, middle can get you like even sub 30 seconds if you execute it very well.
Oh, very famous hint. Try again while watching the moon. There are like so many places where
Oh,
you can
yeah.
spawn. And I got the bottom one, and there is a fun fact. If you go from the bottom, it's actually not faster to grab the rocket. Since
Yeah,
it's like very
technically,
close.
in general, in Meteor Herd, usually what I tell new runners is if in doubt, if you don't know how to get where you want to go, always drill dive down and get the rocket, because that drops you off at the top of the middle section, and from there you can get anywhere very easily. And a lot of new runners make the mistake to like try to like jump away up over the platforms and try to get up, and then they struggle and waste a lot of time. Never do that. Always just like go down and get the rocket. That's always faster, except in this case. But it's not a huge difference. It's like 1 second different or so. So don't worry about it, unless you go for really optimized time. But in this case, you actually, if you get that bottom variant of the piece, you actually want to climb up instead of taking the rocket.
This is pretty annoying piece which I just got a glimpse of a meteorite.
Ah, yeah.
Because you can attach this piece kinda early when you know where it is, but you can't grab it that fast because you need to go all the way up top, and you can't
Yeah.
stop flying onto the rockets. Unlike you can do actually on statics, you need to wait until this rocket will disappear at the very top, and then you need to drill dive. And well, it's
Yeah.
just kind of annoying.
Yeah, this piece is.
It's kind of funny that you can like make this rocket immediately disappear in statics for some reason.
Yeah, you can just like let go of the rocket early.
Oh no, I don't.
It would be
have
so
this.
cool if you could do that here.
Oh, we're gonna get swag strats for this piece. Maybe.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, it worked. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna explain it when he gets it. Yeah, looks good.
I would prefer
and now
not to
he.
read this.
Oh no. God damn it. But yeah, he did something really cool there. It saves a little bit of time, but it's mostly a swag strat. What he did there, he read the hint while he was on the rocket going up, and that is because, as you know, after you read one hint, you have a like 10-second or something cooldown until you can read another hint. And that first piece is very quick to grab. So if you get the first hint for the piece, you go to the piece and then you reach the piece so quickly that the cooldown of the first hint isn't over yet. So you get the piece, and then right where the piece is, there's another hint monitor, which you would normally read to get the hint for the second piece. But because the hint cooldown isn't over, you can't actually read it yet. But you can press B there anyways, and not get the hint, but the game will remember that you actually try to read that hint. So it kind of buffers the B input for the hint until it's applicable for the game, and then you climb up and get the rocket.
Oh!
And,
Wow, what is this layout?
you climb up and get the rocket.
This is so
And-
weird.
Yeah, it really is. You climb up and get the rocket, and then the rocket just happens to go like right past a platform with a hint on it. And because the game remembered that that B input you try to do to read the hint, you go past the monitor, so it reads the monitor while you're on the rocket, and it's really cool.
Here we go. I believe in
That
IL
took-
setup.
And that took me a whole meteor hurt to explain that strat. That saves like half a second.
It saves more actually. Come on, you need to land and to read the hint and then to realize when you need to go, so
Yeah,
it's kinda
right.
cool. Oh my god, I got so many circle there rotating beacon for some reason. It's already like 5th or something like that, and it's actually a pretty cool piece.
Yeah, that's a really good layout. That's what I mentioned earlier. Like, getting like middle, top, middle can get you incredibly good times, and especially you got a really good one there with in front of the shortcut rocket as a first piece, which is also part of the IL layout. Unarguably the best first piece you can get.
Alright, I just finished Meteor Herd 11, so more than halfway is done. Last piece, not last, the piece I just got is kinda questionable because, well, you need to take the rocket, you need to go for this piece, then you need to take the rocket in any case for second piece. So, well,
Yeah,
it's kinda
usually
between
like-
bottom and middle.
Usually, like, middle area pieces are good, but there are some, like this one, that are like on the very bottom level of the middle area. You can't really get anywhere from there, so you have to take the rocket up again. So these aren't as optimal as other middle area pieces.
It's closer.
We have 8 meteor hertz left, I think.
Oh yeah, sounds like that. I just finished 12.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna get world record in this run, honestly.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. It's actually has crazy good time. It's 136 or 4.
Yeah.
One day I'm gonna get this at 136.
Oh, another shortcut rocket. Let's
yeah,
see.
I really like this piece. Oh, second piece is kinda questionable. It's not bad, but it's way too much of like of the side to like everything. And there is no any
Yeah, it's
hint
not
close to it.
optimal.
Actually, it's still probably gonna be... Alright, it's the highest jump on the star. It can be in like 3 spots, and I was able to hit 2 of them without going for spring, but if it's the highest one, I had to go for this.
Yeah.
It's still pretty decent, actually.
Yeah, really good time. 35.
I would say generally if you get sub 40 without resets, it's not that bad.
Yeah, sub 40 is really nice.
The Ark's huge storage area, probably most common hint for first piece because it can be in 4 different locations, but all of them are, well, not that much different, they're just in the same area, but it can be in like 4 spots. There's another second piece with the same hint, the huge Ark storage area, which not really many people know about because it's in the middle of the stage, and again, that's why it's kinda rare.
Yeah, middle stage second piece. Yeah, that piece is really mean because it's got the same hint as the extremely common first piece, but it's on a complete different spot. So whenever like somebody who doesn't know the piece gets that, they get like extremely confused.
There are actually quite a lot of rare pieces we can get on this stage. For example,
Yeah.
I remember when Dage choked his world record run on the stage just because he got a piece with the hint Lonely Moon, and he just simply didn't know where it is because again it's super rare. It has like 4 layouts when it normally spawn in 1024 layouts piece. Layouts list of the pieces which you can get when you enter the stage for the first time. So yeah, I would totally not blame him for this. There's quite a lot of rare pieces. I don't know if we will get any, but most of the pieces we just get are like fairly common.
Meteor Herd also has
Wow.
some exclusive pieces on the Dreamcast version, which you can't get on this.
This is kind of funny.
That's an interesting layout.
Yeah, it's not that
Getting two
common.
top pieces is fairly uncommon.
And that's the reason why I don't want to read the hint and immediately drill dive, because there is a little chance that your third piece, which can be only in 1 spot on the top area, might actually spawn, and well, if you do drill dive and realize it too late, it's gonna cost you some time. And we're gonna do this swag start again.
Oh, nice.
Gonna read the hint while flying on the rocket. Oh, that's actually a pretty neat hint. It also disappeared quickly for some reason, I don't know, but...
The hint always disappears quickly when you do that strat, I'm pretty sure.
Oh my
I don't know
God.
why, but it does.
Yeah, it's a thing.
That's a... that last piece was kinda bad, but...
It's kinda questionable layout, but again, in general, I was so close to like each rocket afterwards, and well, that's
Yeah,
not
it's
a bad time.
still a 40, that's decent. The issue with that first piece is, like, it's really quick to grab, but you have to climb up for very long. So I think it's a pretty good piece overall, but a lot of people don't like it because you have to climb up all the way. But I like it because it's quick to grab, it's right in the middle of the stage, and you can do the swag strat on it. So that's cool.
2 stars and 1 moon. It's so easy to misread this hint between moon and stars.
Yeah,
Which is
a lot of people confuse this one.
Yeah, it confused me a lot as well in the past. It still can confuse me if I'm not focusing on round.
Yeah, same.
A container at the top of the arc. I would say it's kinda rare piece,
Ah.
but I would prefer not to get this because, well, you can
Yeah,
see you need to grab
it's,
the rocket.
it's another of these annoying pieces that are like slightly above the highest that you can get without taking the second rocket. So you have to go up the second rocket all the way up and then go back down the whole way. That's another one called At the Top of the Tip of the Arc, which you can actually see from below, and if you go up the first rocket it pings yellow, but you can't get it. You have to go up all the way and then go back down.
Yeah.
Really annoying.
And there are only 3 meter herds left. Let's go. Which one? Left one, yeah. Which we noticed it earlier. There are like two spots where this piece can spawn, and you need to pay a lot of attention to realize quickly enough which one is
Yeah,
this.
you can tell from the radar when it's. I don't know what Tommy does there to differentiate them, but I personally like look when it starts pinging. I approach it in a specific way, and then based on when the radar starts pinging, I can tell which one it is.
I basically do the same thing, I just kinda, well, lost focus for a second.
Yeah, that happens very easily.
Yeah, well, it's probably not gonna be, well, it's definitely not gonna be world record, but apparently it's gonna be the best marathon time of this category, I believe. I know that we had, well, I remember when we had a race with Axel last year, and I got something slightly above 140, and Axel got 139, like middle 139, I believe. And it looks like I'm gonna get sub-bucks this time.
Yeah, that was a really solid run.
Yeah, RNG was like mean somewhere sometimes, especially on
Yeah,
Pumpkin Hill.
it always is.
Pumpkin Hill RNG actually cost way too much time than it should have. Okay.
It's closer. Wax.
Oh no, it's not here. This piece can be like in 3 spots inside the platform,
Yeah.
and it's kinda annoying when you need to do 3 attempts for it. What is the case? Alright, very last meter hurt. Let's go. It should be sub 139 at least. I believe.
Yeah, you can do it.
Hot molten lava below. Alright.
If you don't get literally the worst layout, it should be
It should
possible.
not be the worst already. Oh wow! There's the thing. There's a hint called on top of a still drilling tower.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a shame that we weren't able to show
Yeah.
a strat to recognize which one is this, because it was simply obvious which one is this now. It was like the first
Yeah.
one. But this hint is kinda interesting because it's actually different for 2 pieces in terms of
Yeah. Basically, there are like 2 different locations that are like on the opposite side of the map, and for the longest time we thought we couldn't differentiate them, but turns out you actually can.
time.
And one of the
It should
Okay.
be sub 1. It's sub 139 on my side.
that was really nice, really good run.
Oh.
Uh.
So yeah,
To finish the explanation really quick,
D7 on my side.
what was that?
0138.
Oh, really nice.
Alright.
Congrats.
thank
Really
you.
good run.
Yeah, it
Uh,
wasn't bad run afterwards.
But to finish the explanation really quick, basically, in one of the variants of on top of steel drilling tower, there's like an extra space, so the hint is kind of like offset, so you can tell from the text. You can line it up with like the emerald radar and tell which one it is, like depending on its position. It's really cool.
Yeah, there's still like a lot of strats we weren't able to explain and show this off because, well, there's like a huge number of it. But this
Yeah.
category is generally what it is for. Like you want to learn pieces, you want to learn strats, test strats, and then replicate them in runs of Hero Story or in all stories, whatever you want to do. And well, that's a cool way to practice it.
Yeah, definitely. And
I agree.
that was a really good run. Thank you for letting me commentate that.
Oh, thank you for helping me in commentating. It was really fun.
Thanks for running it.
Alright. I'm not gonna say goodbye and Nim too because Nim still has Acer 2 run later and I'm gonna have Darkster run afterwards, so it's gonna be the last part of a C2 block. And
Yeah.
I wanna say thanks again for organizing this a marathon. It's really cool. It's cool every year. It never disappoints
Yeah,
me.
it's a great marathon.
And looks
Uh,
like we're gonna have Flying Fox running Sonic and the Black Knight any pretend very soon.
Yeah. So
Yep,
keep
that's correct.
watching.
Yeah. Wish best luck to Flying Fox.
Yeah. Good luck.